Looking out of my kitchen window this morning, I'm standing here with a warm cup of tea in my hand, and I'm thinking about the women in my life, my family, my community, and women all over the world. And I'm struggling with a thought because I'm wondering what happened to sisterhood. I'm not talking about the social media version, but the matching t shirts and group pictures and a quote under it that says girl power, a sisterhood. No, not that type. Not the type that everybody just see and they want it to go viral. So they copy it. Same picture, maybe different outfits. No, I'm talking about the real sisterhood, the kind that holds you together when life is trying to break you apart, the kind of sister that slips a $50 bill in your hand or shows up with bags of groceries because she feels that your refrigerator is empty. She's been listening to you. The sister that sits next to you as you pour out your heart to her and she pours her heart out to you and you share your secrets because she's your secret keeper and you're hers. That talks to you and tells you the truth in love, even though it can be uncomfortable. The kind that celebrates your growth without secretly competing with you. That says, together we rise. And as I'm looking out this window, I realize something. That we're starving for this kind of emotional connection. Not digital connection, but emotional connected. And I believe that many women do not fully understand the role they play in one another's lives, that it can be the thread that holds it together, especially women who have did it for years, but it's no longer there. Because at one time, sisterhood was not an option. It was necessary. It was our survival. Our grandmothers and our great grandmothers, they survived through our community because of sisterhood. The real kind. The kind that helped you take care of your children. She just showed up. I told you to bring them over and bring them into her home while you ran an errand or went to work. The kind that helped you with money and prayed for you without asking questions. The kind that understood that we are in this together. The sisterhood that came before the business grants, the business plans, before the business loans. They pooled their money together before this other type of therapy. We were each other's therapy. We sat around kitchen tables, couches, and we helped each other through breakthroughs, disappointments, and loss, and even exhaustion. Because sisterhood is our real economy. And somewhere along the line, we lost pieces of it. Now, let me say something. Yes, many women are tired, felt betrayed. Yes, you've been in one sided friendships. You're tired of competing against your sister, tired of gossiping, tired of carrying other people. or being misunderstood, or giving and not receiving, and you become wounded. So you decided, I'll just do life alone. I don't need nobody. Okay? But the question I have to ask you today, how is that working for us as a whole and as individuals? How is it working to be isolated? Because the facts and statistics are saying something, and it's very alarming. The loneliness is on the increase, depression, anxiety. And although you may be achieving publicly, what about what's happening privately? What's happening? Because we were wired for connection. And women, we were especially wired for nurturing, emotional bonding, and community building. Think about that for a moment. We were wired for it. But I understand trauma can disrupt it. You may be carrying church hurt, family wounds, friendship betrayal, rejection. And dealing with that, after a while, your nervous system and your mind says, we better get in protection mode. Let's not connect because we have to protect ourselves. And without realizing it, you are slowly guarded. You don't trust another woman. You stop supporting them. And you even stop supporting yourself in building a healthy relationship. And it stops a lot of things. And eventually, you don't realize that you are suffering alone. And as I look out this window, I had to ask myself, what kind of world are we creating if women no longer know how to gently and genuinely support one another? What happened to the next generation who's watching? And believe me, they're watching and they're listening to what you're saying about other women and what happens to our community. And another thing I want you to think about, what happens economically? Because, you know, sisterhood is about connecting economically too. Because when you build healthy relationships, you create healthy networks. You know, the sisterhood kind, the kind that pick up the phone and said, I heard about an opportunity, and I'm sure you are the person they need. So here's this number, girl. Give them a call. Because those opportunities create wealth. And that wealth, it helps us to change our generation. And this is why Sisternomics matters so much to me. It's not just about the money. It's about restoring the emotional and economic power in which I know we hold. It's about showing examples of women. We don't fight, we collaborate. We don't compete, we connect. And we understand that another woman's success is not our failure, and another woman's light does not dim ours. It's enough for you, it's enough for me, and it's enough for other women. But you know what happens? we forget that we have to be intentional. Intentional about ourselves first, about our mindset, the way we think, the way we heal. We have to be intentional. We have to know it's not about performing, it's about being present. It's not about being fake, it's about being real. And we have to ask ourselves some questions. Am I trustworthy? Do I gossip? Do I backbite? Do I compete secretly with my sisters? Do I know how to support? Have I allowed my past hurts to harden my heart? Because it's very important. And we have to relearn what we believe community is. What is community? I know it needs communication, a space to be able to communicate freely. It requires accountability and responsibility, and also honesty and patience and maturity and grace. Because sisterhood is not about being perfect, it's about being you. You know, we are carrying a lot of invisible burdens every day. We may be silently grieving, financially struggling, feeling emotionally overwhelmed and lonely because we have decided that isolation is where I thrive. But that's not true. It's not. Do you know collectively what we can do with women of the same mindset, heart, passion, values as us? We can share resources. We can support one another. We can mentor those who come behind us or those who's walking right alongside of us. We can create because sisterhood brings that out in you. But we have to do it with trust, not just with money, but with our emotions and our feelings. Because emotionally healthy women working together change families, change relationships, change communities, and change legacies. And as I continue looking out this window, I realize something deeply. This is my life. My life has been shaped by sisterhood. It's not just what I say, it's who I am, because I understand it. It's where I thrive. And you, sis, have you tried it? Letting your guard down. And maybe sisterhood is not completely gone because it can be restored one conversation at a time, one relationship at a time. Okay? Because we're hungry and we want something deeper, something sacred, and something healing. And I believe and I know that sisterhood brings that about. It don't have to be perfect because we're not perfect. But understand this, that you matter in another woman's life. Your words, your comfort, your smile, your kindness, and your presence It matters. And perhaps the greatest wealth that we can have as sisters is not financial wealth, but it's our relationship wealth. Because we build together, we support, and we grow together. And we change entire generations. And maybe that is the true power of sisterhood. It's just me and you looking out our kitchen window. I'll see you next time as we look out, but we look in.